Good afternoon from Lombok, everyone. It's Anifa Menon from hearthealthbrainhealth.com, encouraging healthy grieving and mindful actions. Today I'm sitting in this wonderful community, Warung. So it's a lovely space. Warungs actually have much more local foods, and here there's local as well as some international choices too. But it's one of my favorite places to sit here in the area of Singigi in Lombok. And so I thought today I would talk to you a little bit about community. And again, we're all part of some community, and we're definitely part of the global community. And I thought I'd start with something that Indonesia reminds me of very much, and yet it's the same energy I have felt in Canada. And I do believe it's felt all around the world if we choose to feel it. The quotation says, God is a God of unity, and where there is disunity and division, his spirit is not free to dwell. So I'll say that one more time because we're hearing a little bit of bike sounds in the background. It says, God is a God of unity, and when there is disunity, or where there is disunity and division, his spirit is not free to dwell. And you might know that in Indonesia, here again in Lombok, largely communities are based around religion. So there's this warung itself, I believe, is Buddhist owned, which I just love that it's a bit of a change for me. Then there is a lot of, the majority of the population is Muslim, so that's a Muslim community. And of course there's Hindu population too. There's the Hindu community. There is a Christian population, which I haven't actually seen yet in terms of church, but I do know that there are some here, or at least one. I don't know where they are, and I'm not sure if there's any real difference in terms of when we think of community. When we think of community, this whole idea of when we divide, we separate, you know that that's something that I've spoken about in many videos. The minute I make a division between myself and you, I do not treat you as well as I treat myself. And that's the whole point, even when we're looking at education. If I get educated in healthcare as I have, and I think I'm different than the person who's in hospitality, I refuse to see the commonality between us. So in hospitality, many times hospitality industries deal with emergencies with healthcare. Someone gets sick with whether something they've eaten, some activity, the noise, anything. Anything can happen in hospitality. We get the impatient people that we work with. We get the not so happy. We get the happy. We get the frustrated. We get all of the same, and isn't that healthcare? So again, anything that I say differentiates myself from you, separates the fullness of my love and compassion to you. So then I thought I would say this quotation or share this quotation too. This one says, all fixed set patterns are incapable of adaptability or pliability. The truth is outside of all fixed patterns. This is by Bruce Lee. And remember that even if we're learning martial arts, as Bruce Lee did demonstrate, if it's a fixed pattern, then something has to be done this way, this way, this way. This is the kick, and I've done a little bit of martial arts training many, many years ago too. But when we look at it has to be this way, there might be a reason that this particular angle, this particular position helps get the most force in our martial arts understanding. Yet, someone will think outside of the box and find that, wow, for their own system, this angle works a little bit better. This angle gives them more power. And I certainly learned this through practicing tennis regularly. And so I thought if we're thinking about education in healthcare and hospitality, there is very much this interest I find all around the world to work from outside of the box and to not think that I know better than you. But if we work together, we work with learning a little bit from all sides. And this is what countries are trying to do, educational systems are trying to do with working with other countries. And what I find and what's not talked about much is that it's something to show that, oh, I went to Europe, so I hear this in Indonesia a fair amount. I went to Europe and I studied here, I studied in Australia. I've been to this country, I got this certificate. And the same thing happens in Canada, where people will say, oh, so I could say, oh, I went to Indonesia and I learned this, this, this. And it only is something to add to each other rather than to separate us. And what is happening is then people want to be better than. So I don't want to teach you, your country, what I learned here in this country. And in fact, within one country, I want to teach at this university something that's different than from this college. Why not work together? And this is hopefully the direction that I am encouraging us all to work in, whichever countries we're in. And of course, I hope that I am able to somehow affect this pattern in Lombok itself. I also wanted to talk about this idea where when we are fixed in our set patterns of this is right, whatever it is, this is the way to teach, this is the way to practice, this is the way to have faith, these are the rituals, whatever way we look at things, rituals of even practicing our professions. We get into a ritual of have to wash our hands, and then we have to do this, we set up our table, and we have the rituals. And yet all of those things need something just outside of the box, where before it was, there has to be fresh linen for everyone. And now it's like, oh, table paper works pretty good. So in that, and this is healthcare, hospitality too, sometimes there is fresh linen on tables. Right now I'm sitting at a table without any linen, perhaps that's helping to conserve some water. And this awareness that thinking outside of the box is actually helping the earth and helping all of us. So this quotation says, it takes a degree of faith and a willingness to let life fall apart in order to fall together again at a higher level. This willingness to let life fall apart, meaning this change happens, not just minor changes that, okay, we'll use paper on these tables and then mats on these tables or linens on these tables, because why do I want to treat some tables more special than others? And sometimes hospitality industry will do this. It's because, well, they paid for a more expensive room, so they get the linens, and the people who are in the less expensive room gets the paper or no cover on their table, whichever way it is. We have to allow our minds to think outside of the box to see what are we doing and why do we do it, and is it welcoming to people to feel welcome in a space no matter who they are, how much money they have, what religion they are. And these are the things that I would like us all to reflect on before we provide service. So I finally thought I'd finish with this quotation because I think in all cultures, and certainly around COVID time, we thought about this concept very much. And since that time, I've definitely seen dramatic changes. People aren't thinking the same anymore. And I'd like you to think and reflect on this thought and see how much you're doing this. It says, just as you wash your hands before eating, some do, clear your mind before engaging with the world. Clear your mind before engaging with the world, which means whatever biases are held in here, I am aware of them, and I clear myself of those biases to provide the best service that I can in whichever industry that I'm in. Today, I hope that you'll reflect on these quotations and these ideas, and I hope you have a fantastic day serving yourself compassion and love before the rest of the world, because only when we're full can we help others. I wish you a fantastic day or night, and I hope you remember, transform your mind and transform your life. Have a great day or night, everyone.